when did you fall in love with like women in hip hop?
Okay. And this is actually,
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
So
So this was
pick.
Mariah.
How did you find the song?
It was my pick this week for a song, and it was only because I saw this on TikTok. And then I went and I like watched the full video after I saw it on TikTok. And then I put it in the group chat as like, hey, can this be our next song for our opening? And then Brianna was like, hey, we've already talked about this artist like way back when from our first episode.
And a little bit.
I really like this song. I really like the video. The video's giving me very much like what's his name? Why can't I think of his fucking name? Hype Williams. Hype Williams, Fish Islands. Hype Williams with the Fish Islands and the Missy videos in the 90s. It's like very Missy, and I really love that. I love the fun in it, and I want that to be back in rap. Like, I think there are a lot of girls who are doing it, and we're going to talk about it when we get to talk about this music. But I love that, and I want more newness and more fun in it. I just think people aren't fun anymore in rap, and it used to be so much fun. We need to bring it back.
I thought it was just me. And you want to know why I think it's not as fun? Well, it's specifically more so for women in rap. I think the reason why it's not as fun is because, one, I do think a lot of the girls, like, since they can see, like, if they be serious, like, they can eventually, you know, like, really get a big pop. But, like, they're not necessarily like that good at making pop music, like,
and that's
rap music, like, on their own. Like, you do,
but
like, you have to bring in a team, right? Like, you truly have to bring in a pop team who knows how to work with like pop rap. Like, you would have to bring that in. I don't know how well having a rap team per se is like beneficial, like when you're trying to do that. Like, you kind of gotta drop it. But also, this may be a hot take, but I don't think the collabs
really you mean like pop rap collabs aren't as fun?
No, like collabs among the rap girls.
Give me an example.
Because I think a lot of it. So, like, for example, I think a lot of the girls, like, even the process of them getting collabs seems very much like a big hassle and a big struggle, and like it's always drama. Well, not necessarily drama, but like it's a hassle, it's a tussle, or it's like a kiss the ring situation. So it's not as like, oh, this looks like a fun collab. So like I'm thinking of like, okay, when Lil Nas X dropped the picture with Saucy Santana. Like, that was just like, oh my god, like, this looks so fun. Like, this looks like it's gonna be fun, whatever. And like, in at least to our knowledge, there has been no situation of like Saucy had to kiss the ring to get this collab with Lil Nas X, or Lil Nas X had to kiss the ring to, you know, get Saucy Santana on it. It just seems like, okay,
and you think it's that way. I definitely can see it being that way with like older women in rap. Like you, if you wanted to feature with Nicki Minaj, you definitely have to kiss the ring a bit. But and I like totally get that not being like, fun. But I definitely think like among the girls collaborating with each other, I don't see as much of that. I don't feel it as much.
Yeah, neither.
I feel like it's a little bit like not necessarily drama amongst
them,
but like drama
too.
With like labels. So then like, yeah, I'm saying like the fans, it just kind of messes up what this could be, like how this could be like a great collab. Because like, I hate to say it, but like to an extent, stans can like not ruin an artist for you, but like make you not want to enjoy them. And when you see them constantly tussling online, it's like, I don't even care about this artist anymore. Or like, you know, I'm not really feeling it as much because there can never just be peace. It can never just be good fun time. So that's why I think the fun is gone.
No, I hear what you're saying. I feel like we've also talked about this a little bit of just like surrounding dramas that have impacted like
Right.
like unnecessary like beef, I guess, in order to like get things
Yeah,
popping
it never
like,
has to be
it
that
didn't
way,
have
you
to
know?
be
It's
this
all
way.
music.
So
But I like this artist
yeah.
and I really want her to pop off and I see it for her. I
Same.
see it for her. I
She's
see
been
it for
around
her.
for a minute. If you all like remember, she was this lady from UT Texas. She was doing like freestyles, and I feel like it went viral on Twitter.
Nah, it went viral on Twitter. It did.
Yeah, it went viral on Twitter, and she was doing like a bunch of freestyles. So definitely look her up. She's been in the game for a minute, so I hope that she gets some more traction.
All right, everybody, we're back. Welcome to another episode of Where My Girls At. We know it's been a minute.
Long time
March
no
was
here.
Oof, child, March was a lot for me. I was like so close to my vacation, and then I was like, y'all, I just can't do it. Like, I just could not sit down to record another episode. I was just so drained, but now I'm back from vacation. I made like a little mini vacation vlog that I put on my YouTube channel, which was really fun. And it like I had such a good time. The only thing that was really terrible was like the fucking on the way back, there was a fake shooting. It wasn't even a fucking shooting.
Oh,
but
wait, you were in that Cancun airport?
Yes, I was in the airport. We had just gotten through all security check. We were in fucking duty free. Like, should we buy something at duty free before we were gonna go sit at our gate, before we were gonna go get on our fucking flight? And we flew Spirit. The only reason that I flew Spirit was because I had a flight voucher. And so my flight was free. But at this point, I'm like, I should have just paid for some shit. And this never would have happened. The point is like, it was a fake shooting. Like, it wasn't a shooting. Some like machine in one of the restaurants, like, backfired or whatever. And somebody thought it sounded like gunshots. So you know how you're in a crowded theater, you scream fire. So and all of a sudden everybody's running. Everybody's running. And I'm like, and at first we were so confused. They were like, somebody has a gun. So they ushered us into one of the offices. We're sitting in this office for like an hour. We come out of the office and like, everything's returning back to normal. Wrong. The fucking airport was completely shut down. Completely shut down. So we were there for an extra like 2 hours. We made our flight. We had a connecting flight from Dallas Fort Worth Airport to Los Angeles. We get to Dallas. We have about 50 minutes to get our bags, recheck our bags, and then make it to our flight. Spirit takes an hour and 10 minutes to drop our fucking bags. There's not one attendant at the bag drop. So we missed our flight. It was the last flight going out of Dallas. So we had to wait in Dallas until 6 o'clock in the morning to get on the next flight to LA. And then when I got to LA, I had to go straight from LAX to work.
Oh my God.
No way.
I remember seeing that video of the girl running.
Girl, people was running everywhere and I didn't know what was going on. I was like, is this it? I was like, are these my last days? Bitch, I was really shook. I was really fucking shook. I really thought. But in the end, like, it was a really great vacation and I really needed that rest. Because now I'm like back and I'm ready to work and I'm really excited. We have a lot of exciting content coming up. And I'm really excited. So yeah, what about you guys? What have y'all been up to? Look at Brie.
This is so suck when she was like, yeah, so I was in this scenario that was like a big shooting, but it's like all good though, because like, you know, we're here and I'm ready to work. So like, what? Like, we should just bypass that, but okay, girl.
Brie has big news though.
Yes, Brie.
I was gonna say,
we don't even know if you wanted to share it. We just
no, I'll share it. No, I'm
I
very
did
proud.
just throw it on you. I did.
No, it's all good. I am officially a homeowner. I own a condo out in Virginia. So, yeah, so it's very nice. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths.
Not 3 bedrooms with 2.5 baths. Brianna's
Yep.
big ballin'. Okay.
Clearly.
2 parking spots. 2
Two?
parking spots. Yep. So my sister and I, my sister's also a partial owner as well. So we'll both be living there at the beginning of the summer. So
That's
amazing.
amazing.
It's gonna be really fun. But I'm very happy. Been surrounded by lots of love and been getting good energy. So I'm excited to like get into my space and make it a home.
Brianna, that is so amazing. We're so proud of you and so happy for you because you absolutely deserve that. You work so hard, working all hours.
Okay.
Traveling from city to city.
Baby, every other weekend, I'm back in Texas.
Every other weekend, I'm back in
DC.
Texas. Oh, I'm here. Oh, I'm there. Oh, I'm everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
did
be
that.
staying put. I'm gonna be staying put for a minute.
Well, hell yeah, you got
I
you
have
on a
a-
motherfucker.
I
responsibilities.
I hope you
I have a
already bought your
mortgage.
furniture. I hope you already bought your furniture because you know everything on back order everywhere, girl.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, and we're getting some work done on the place as well. So it's like
Getting
I
some
gotta-
work done on the place.
Yeah. So
I had
yeah,
to
I gotta get that
steal
going.
command strips from Target the other day because I was like $8.99. I really don't think they should be that high.
That shouldn't be. Let me just put this here.
Just put it in my pocket.
I'm weak.
That just shows you guys how different places
Life.
we are.
But also how things are not that different because I feel like that's some college stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like taking command strips or like taking from the
It's
Ferrero
like,
store.
it's like I could have paid for it. It was the principle of the thing, you know?
It's the principle
Right.
of
I
it.
just
No,
don't think they should be charging that much for
They
fucking
really shouldn't,
command
and they
strips.
don't even work
like,
that good.
And they don't even work that fucking good. Like, this is the second time I had to buy those. So, honestly, I feel like I was doing, like, Target's just a very charitable organization. I get things from there for free all the time. So,
right? They're supporting the teacher lifestyle.
They
That makes
support-
sense.
Abbott Elementary.
I was like, this is Abbott. This is Abbott.
They're
in
just
real
supporting
life.
me. They're just supporting me. But what about you, Shermie? What have you been
Yeah, what
up
about you,
to?
Shermie?
Having a busy bee, like working all 10 of my jobs. Yeah, working.
You've been going into the office?
Honestly, I guess I really had to re-up from that year. I was just off, chilling, living life.
Girl, you was just laid the fuck back. No job. No responsibilities. Now look at you.
I know, but what have I done besides work? Oh, I did go to DC, even though I didn't get to see Bree. That was sad. And then the week before that, I had a conference that I had to work. So yeah, it's just been busy, trying to stay afloat.
Let's get into some topics. Okay, so last time we have like a ton of new music to discuss.
yeah.
Honestly, just a ton of new music to discuss, but also
A
some
few,
stuff
it's
that
like a few topics.
a few things that we didn't get to discuss
Yep.
last time. But let's talk about what I think is I just want to talk about. Queen Radio is coming back.
Let's give Mariah her time.
Yeah.
Let's just give her her time.
I have missed it so dearly. Y'all just don't understand. It was just the perfect shit firestorm of mess that I needed. And so it's on this new platform on Amazon Prime. And didn't I say?
No,
I
you
recall
definitely said something about that. You're right.
I
You're right.
myself saying once, at least a couple months ago, I think Nicki Minaj has a project coming out with Amazon because she kept promoting Amazon, kept talking about Amazon, and now she's talking about in a new song how she's texting with Jeff Bezos and shit like that. So I knew this was going to happen, but they have this new platform called AMP, and apparently I don't quite understand it.
None of this stuff I understand once like tech things start to get into the music world. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. The point is that Queen Radio is coming back on AMP. Don't know when.
The release date was supposed to be like this week, right? It was supposed to.
Well, let's check.
I feel like all I
believe
know
it
about
was.
Queen Radio is just her
Chaos,
and then her talking about Harriet Tubman and
yes, we got the
that's-
famous.
famous. You think Harriet Tubman was walking around in a pink puffy dress when she
Okay,
was
so
saying
all we have. Okay, so all we know is that so it did not come out.
Okay, we know
Mhm.
that.
And the only update on the Queen Radio official Twitter page is we'll be sure, it was as of 2 days ago, says we'll be sure to update you with any Queen Radio updates as we have since 2018. Be sure to follow at Nicki Minaj and at On Amp in the meantime as well. Hashtag Queen Radio.
It might be a
Unicorn
summer
emoji.
thing because Queen Radio was a summer thing, right?
I don't even
I don't
remember. It was
It's been a minute.
I don't fucking remember. And I went to the amp. It says, "Oh, Nicki Minaj tweeted, I'll update you guys shortly on the exact date of Queen Radio. There were certain things I thought were too essential to the show to go on without them for our premiere episode that was originally scheduled for today. It'll be sometime between
I knew it was
tomorrow
for, like, this weekend.
and next week though.
Hmm.
Stand by." Okay. So basically, we don't know when it's coming.
Yeah,
Right.
that could be.
That's really it.
But okay, but I'm
But
excited.
what are you
doesn't matter.
excited about, Mariah? What are you excited
I'm
about?
excited.
What
I'm
do you
excited for the
want
mess.
to come out of this?
I want a mess.
I'm
Okay.
waiting
I
for
really
the
want
TikTok
mess.
voices.
That's all. I don't really care about any of the shit she's gonna be talking about.
Uh-huh.
I am just excited for the hot ass mess that it's gonna be. I really can't fucking wait. That's all. What else? Oh, Nicki Minaj did an interview with Joe Budden. I did not watch that. I have no desire to watch Joe
I
Budden.
wanted to talk about
I
it,
saw-
but like it's old news now.
What did you
I
watch
watched
it
a
at
little
all?
bit. I watched clips of it.
Yeah.
What was? Let's talk about it briefly.
She was talking.
What
She was talking about like going through writer's block a little bit. She talked about like her identity as a mother and how that's like influencing her music now. What else
Okay.
did she talk about? About like the idea of like who's like a superstar and like what the like formula is to be like making it within like hip hop nowadays and like what it means to like put out a album of work.
Yeah.
I don't know. What else am I missing anything? I feel like that was
I mean, it was basically an interview of like Joe Budden going back on a lot of things that he had said.
he seemed like a fangirl
Yeah.
to be honest when he was there.
Yes, he really was. He really was.
Oh, he was
fangirl.
giving what I saw. He was giving very much fangirl. Like
Yeah.
it was giving that. Something that's not on here, off of our Nicki Minaj thing before we talk about albums. Lizzo's new show, Watch Out for the Big Girls, on
Did we
what
talk about
Amazon
last
on Amazon Prime, and Lizzo's new shapewear brand Yitty,
week? That's
which
what we
is
didn't
coming,
talk about yet.
Mm.
which is coming out April 12th. And it's supposed to. I think this is what is going to put Kim Kardashian out of business.
Ooh.
And
Is this
thank
the,
God.
Is this the Fenty of athletic wear? That's athletic wear.
I
right?
think it's not athletic wear. It's like shapewear. So it's like a shapewear, loungewear type brand, like Skims.
What's the difference between athletic wear and shapewear?
Shapewear is for under the clothes.
Oh, like
Athletic wear
undergarments,
is
like
I thought all that stuff was athletic wear.
No. No. The point
Shows you how
is,
much I know about fashion.
you don't know shit. But the point is, it's through Fabletics, which should tell you something. So there's obviously going to be some, type of scam involved. Of like sign up for like Savage X Fenty does, like a monthly membership type
monthly
shit.
membership.
Fabletics does the same thing. It's obviously going to be some sort of scam, but I'm still going to do it. But I'm really excited for her, and I did actually watch the first episode of Lizzo's show, Watch Out for the Big
oh, how
Girls,
was it?
and it was so fucking good, y'all. Like it was really so amazing. Like she was so nice. All these girls were just so kind, and they were just like, some of them were crying. They were like, we don't get opportunities like this, being
That's
plus
true.
size dancers and shit like
Yeah.
that. Like it
Everyone
was like,
always complains that they can't
Can't
plus
find them,
size
yeah.
dancers. Yeah, Lizzo always.
yeah,
finds
and
plus
Lizzo
size
had
dancers.
all these girls, and when I tell you, baby, they was dancing. Like I could never do the shit they was doing. Never do the shit they was doing, but it was really
Awesome.
good. And apparently, she's dropping a new single that she is calling
I saw that.
"Song of the Summer." But
Everybody's
we'll
been
be,
big claims,
we'll be,
big claims.
we will be the judges of
I was
that,
about to
Lizzo.
say,
Don't
I
you
wanna-
worry.
Everybody's
I want us
Don't
to chill
you
out on
worry.
these big claims. I love the confidence.
Don't you
but
worry, Lizzo.
everybody's been
I
claiming
want us
songs
to
of the
chill.
summer. Like
Song
Well,
of the
listen.
summer, verse
Well,
of the
listen,
summer.
we are the judges and the juries of Song of the Summer. If you have not listened to our last Song of the Summer episode, you should stop this and go and listen to that right now.
right.
Oh, you wanna know what's so funny? Okay,
Yes.
talking about our song of the summer last year. spoiler, I think all of ours was beating down your block.
It was. All of us was beating down your block, and honestly,
we didn't
it
lie.
still might
we
be.
didn't lie.
And we didn't tell one lie, because what happened? She was on our remember our freshman XXL list too, and now she's up for the 10th spot for this year. And then I tweeted her like, "Hey sis," from our Twitter account. "Hey sis, you were already on ours," and she liked the tweet. It was really cute. I was like, "You were on ours last year."
Don't worry about them. We've been doing what we need to do.
We've been doing that. But listen, I said that though. But what were you gonna say, Shermie?
Oh, I was gonna say, one of my friends, he had texted me. It was a voice note. He was like, "Hey, Shermie, like, oh my god, the best thing ever done is put me like onto Mona Leo because of the podcast."
Hey,
he was like, "I was driving and it was at a red light or whatever, and I was playing Beating Down Your Block, and my windows was down." And then this girl next to me, like, she was in the car, like, "Hey, down your block."
I love it.
Because what? Because that song is universul. Okay, everybody gets it, and it still is. Like,
I don't know. She might have it again.
I think who knows what's coming. But basically, that's all I really cared about from that little situation. Also, we did find out that it was Kodak Black that Lotto was talking about. That didn't surprise me at all.
Okay. Wait, they did say it was him?
They did not say it, but obviously it was him. Like,
all for
a hit dog will holler. Okay.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I was gonna say, I mean, I know we'll talk about this in like the new music section, but like her entire album didn't have any female rapper.
No, and I said that when I saw the track list.
I got another story about that too.
Yes, let's talk about it. We can just jump right into it, shit.
I was like, y'all want to just jump into the new music? I'm trying to think the other stuff.
Girl, that album was not giving.
Okay, wait. Let me tell my story, because this is both about Lotto and Shinsia.
What happened?
For some reason, my friend, she keeps getting replies from like celebrities that she be talking about. So y'all know when Shinsia's first album when this album dropped, everyone was like on the I don't know, like what this gonna give, you know, yada yada. So she made one of those tweets, and then Shinsia replied to her, and she was like, "You're not a real what she called her fan? Shin Yang or whatever.
I don't know.
Like, you're dismissed. Da, da, da. And I was like, damn, girl, how the hell did you get because I don't think she at Shinsia. Like, she didn't add her. And then I think Lotto's album dropped like the month after, or like maybe a couple weeks after. And then she tweeted like you know, like kind of disappointed that Lotto didn't have any female rappers,
any women on the album.
On the album. And then she was like, somehow got a quote tweet from Lotto as well. And she was like, well, I sent it out and like nobody was sending nothing back. And I'm like, how are you getting all these replies?
What?
Oh, well, I'm sad that nobody wanted to send anything
it was
back
like she
for her
said,
album.
She said something like, well, I sent stuff out to them, but like it didn't work out. And I'm like, okay. I'm just like,
I'm still.
Why did she get all the replies?
Yeah, I was like,
I don't know, but I'm sad. No, I wish people would reply to Lotto. Like,
why does my friend get all the replies?
That's not what's important in that conversation.
It is, because why is everybody replying to her when she just making regular tweets? She's not even adding these people.
That is true.
Well, people search their name.
Yeah, that's true.
You know that's how.
I actually
didn't.
I didn't mind the album. I kind of liked it.
I didn't.
You didn't?
Care for
okay,
it.
let's hear it. I didn't care for it. I didn't care for the 777.
So.
Yeah, go ahead, Bree.
I liked
please.
the first two songs, the 777 Part 1 and Part 2. I thought it was just like, you know, like one of those good songs to like intro the album of just like, hey, I'm here to stay, I'm established, like I have things to prove.
Okay.
So I thought it was a strong start there. What else did I have downloaded from there? The Wheelie song kind of grew on me with 21 Savage. And then Big Energy, obviously we know that one. I liked It's Giving.
How'd you feel about the remix of Big Energy?
It was okay. It didn't really like.
It was fine. I mean,
I don't think Mariah's vocals.
It wasn't necessary. I don't think.
I didn't think that was Mariah's vocals at first.
Oh really?
But then because it just didn't sound good.
Sound good. Like those
it didn't sound good. So, but I mean, you know what? It's a Mariah Carey feature. Now the song is number 3 on the Billboard chart.
Yeah,
so it was for a reason. It was for a reason.
But I didn't necessarily like most of the songs that she had with features. Like, it was all the
either.
songs that she was alone on. It was the part 1,
Right.
part 2, It's Giving, and I liked Sleep, but
That's the only song I downloaded.
I don't know
Yeah.
why debut. Well, this not a debut.
No,
album,
it's not.
But
Well, that's what she called
I
it.
was gonna say a lot of people, you know,
That's what she called it herself in
true.
an interview.
But like, I don't know why they have so many features on these debut albums. Like,
And it's like half of it
debut.
is features,
Yes.
and it's features that weren't
Don't
even.
make
I don't think
needed.
they were not necessary.
Especially for all that shit for that Kodak Black song that wasn't even good. Like I didn't care for
yeah, and
it.
it has
I didn't care for the album. I was disappointed.
And it has Southside on there. Like, I knew that song already. Like,
sure,
Okay, that was already a single.
I liked Wheelie. I did like that song. I did download that because I think it's really good. And I like Sleep. But other than that, I didn't care for any of the rest of it. It was like listening to the same song over and over again. And I'm really kind of disappointed in Lotto.
Here's my issue with this.
Kind of disappointed.
This is more so as an album, like the whole album. This album was supposed to be the reintroduction of her as Lottery. So I was kind of expecting a lot of the songs to have a lottery feel. Like, again, like you're trying to rebrand yourself as Lottery. You would think that a lot of it would give like a lucky feel, a happier feel.
And it just was
maybe like some
over the place.
Some production play off, you know, like lottery sounds, stuff like that. But then also this album was supposed to be like her maturing from the name and like showing that she has like grown from that situation. But like everybody on the track is a colorist and they're using colorist bars and like you are also still using like light skin mixed bars. So I'm like, well, what I don't know. Like the idea of this being like a reintroduction of you is something different, but you're still using the same tropes. Childish Gambino on a song talking about my son mulatto.
No, please don't even bring it
like
up.
This is another time like
Childish Gambino and Lil Wayne on one track.
Like,
please,
that was confusing.
What was the point?
Colorist. Like,
what was the point?
That was a little bit confusing.
I'm like, this is another time men are coming on the track and like ruining songs with their like
ruining it.
Thought process, like colorist thoughts. Like I'm thinking of Jasmine Sullivan and Price Tag, Anderson .Paak.
Oh, don't even. And these are all the men you name: Childish Gambino, Lil Wayne, Anderson .Paak. Don't date black women.
Then we got Kodak Black.
Don't date black women
on here.
Like, don't date black women.
I don't know.
What's the point?
I just think because it was supposed to be this like reintroduction, I don't.
It missed the mark.
Introduced, and then also have another question. Oh no, you go.
Queen of the South was so good too.
Yeah.
So it's really disappointing to come from that album, which I feel like was just front to back hits, to this, which all of it just sounds the same.
The same, and this one is supposed to be like with a better team or like an actual
But this
team.
is much more lackluster than that.
That's what I'm saying.
There are no hits on this album, if you ask me. Not one. And none of it is like this right now is giving me no replay value in listening to it. It has none.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's
just like the Shinsia album. Like I didn't even care to listen to it again. I was just
I listened to it once and I was like, okay, it doesn't sound as bad as like the singles that were dropped, but also like did we what?
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh no, what was you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, did we ever talk about Sweetest Pie?
No, we didn't talk about that one.
Oh, okay, because I was gonna bring that up next.
But onto the Shinsia one. I mean, back to that one. It wasn't that it necessarily like it didn't sound terrible. Like it wasn't like like
it just didn't sound like
I didn't hear.
It just sounded like everything else. It just sounded like everything
and
else.
Honestly,
like, it could get
I
lost
don't
in the
think you
shuffle.
need to.
If you ask me,
Brie, I don't think you need to.
Yes, I'm like it'll get lost in the shuffle. Like it's not like there's anything on there that stands out that would be like, oh, Shinsia is about to come and take over pop. Like she's gonna be the new like pop girl or whatever. It was just like it's not bad, but it's not.
And anytime I hear we got London on the, I'm turning that shit right the fuck off.
I'm telling y'all,
we ain't got London on the track over here.
The way the girls just need to like work with other women in production, in writing, like
right.
I'm so tired of these male teams. Like they don't know what they're doing. I really feel like they are gonna mess up like this good era that we're in with like women in music.
Ooh,
I
that's
really
an
do.
interesting thing to say.
It's, as much as it's like we're getting more of the girls, we're getting. I'm not gonna say we're getting more of the same thing, but we're getting more of the same bullshit. Because again, it's like still men on the production, men in the writing room. So it's like, again, same bars. How many times is pussy gonna be on Fiji? How many times is pussy gonna be wet? Like, pussy so much other things. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I hadn't listened. No, I hadn't listened to the album, but I feel like I had skimmed through it and I didn't hear anything. Usually I can tell within like the first 4 seconds of a song if I'm gonna like it or not.
Right.
No, that's
how I felt about that Bia song. I turned that shit. And with J. Cole of all people, girl, I said, baby, if you don't cut it out.
So
J. Cole, baby, I was so motherfucking. I turned that shit right the fuck off. I could not believe her.
I really thought it was gonna be a British artist.
I could not believe it. Exactly. What was the point of it?
Right. What was the
J.
point?
Cole?
But
what
also
was the
like
point of the accent. Oh, it was terrible, honey. It was so bad.
I don't think these. Go.
Well, I was gonna say I thought the music video was cute. Like I like the way that was shot. I wish the song was better. And it's like it's like. Remember when Drake was in his like British bag and he was it was like when Top Boy. It was like not bag, you know what I mean? Like when he was like he was switching nationalities every couple of seasons or so. When Top Boy had just been released. That's how it felt like. That's how it felt like to me. Like they were trying to incorporate like London British language, and I was just like,
I just don't think she's as talented as Drake to do that.
Oh, I agree.
So
you want to know why? Because you need a team. I'm stressed. I'm stressing a team for these girls, like a true team who can get them and understand.
I don't know what the deal was with that, but I mean, anytime you put J. Cole on a track, I'm gonna go right to sleep.
Speaking about J. Cole, well, not
ambient.
About him.
It's ambient.
I just don't think these like big features are what they used to be. Like
exactly.
they don't hold the same weight that
No.
Not. I don't even think Drake features necessarily hold the weight.
Well, I would disagree on that.
I don't think they do.
I think that's the one I would disagree on.
I think it still holds more. I don't think it holds the same Drake on a feature.
That it used to? I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Because even like thinking about his singles, like they do good.
I disagree. I disagree.
We gonna have to agree to disagree on that.
Okay, we can agree to disagree.
It's like saying like, oh, you get a feature from Beyonce. It's not gonna do. No.
Well,
let's not go that far.
Well, also a lot of people don't get a feature from Beyonce to begin with, so I don't
nobody's
really know
getting a feature from Beyonce.
Really compare Beyonce to Drake. Like Drake, throws features out.
Yeah, just did anybody really. But what else? Oh, Coi Leray released an album. I didn't listen to it. I liked Blake though.
Me too.
I liked it.
And I was so surprised because I thought, oh my god, I'm gonna hate this song, but I'm gonna love the Nicki verse. But I actually liked the whole song.
Yeah, that was
a good song. It's the first time I've ever liked a Coi Leray song. First time ever. Didn't listen to the album though because I really don't care.
It just came out. So
it's
I might listen to it.
25 songs deep.
All right, never mind.
You said how many?
25.
On a Coi Leray album?
She's putting out Chris Brown type of albums on her debut.
I'm finna go look at this because
I listened to like half of the album, and again,
it's 50 minutes long.
And again, I was like, within the first 4 seconds. What I will say is I did enjoy the instrumentals of it. But the actual rapping behind it was not up to par. Yeah, like I think the production value was like great, but I'm like, I wish that like this beat sounds good, but I wish somebody else was on it, you know?
Like, shut up. I want to hear whoever this is.
Be quiet.
Be quiet. Shh. I just want to shh.
But yeah, I only listened to half of it because I couldn't get through the rest. But
yeah, I'm in the process of listening to music slower. So I can like really digest it. So I'll give me like 2 to 3 weeks.
But we never did talk about Sweetest Pie. And
I'm gonna say
Oh Oh, I liked it. I thought it was really cute. It was like a little like Dua Lipa is like
I thought it was
she
cute
just
too.
has the perfect formula for like a pop song. Dua Lipa, you know, she's not like Britney. You know, it's not
Yeah.
gonna do amazing things, but it's gonna be a hit. It's gonna be something you can dance to. And I thought the video was amazing. I thought they really complimented each other really well on this song. Like I feel like if Meg does this kind of thing, like if she wants to hop in her pop bag, I feel like it should be more like Sweetest Pie. You know?
I would agree with that, but you also know what made that different? Because one, somebody else is singing, actual pop star, and
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
someone who writes chorus and bridges. Probably wrote
Yeah,
the chorus and the
whoever's
bridges.
writing. Yeah, I'm gonna check the credits on this right now on the song, but I'm like almost like 9,000% sure it was somebody who like actually
Right.
does this. Oh, it was Nija.
And I was definitely say I think it's Nija.
Nija is writing on it, of course. OG Parker. Who else? And OG Parker produced it. And then some other people who I don't know, but probably also, and then obviously Meg and Dua. But of course, it's people who know how to write fucking choruses that can do it
That's
and know
all
how
we
to
asked
produce
for.
for
I did not
it.
like
So
that song.
Bree don't
I
like
really
it.
respect
Bree
that.
does
I did
like
not
it.
like
Bree, I don't
that
think you
song.
Okay.
like pop songs. I don't think you like.
I mean, I like pop songs, but like this was so.
I don't think you like pop rap.
It was. I did not like it. I couldn't even finish the music video. Really, like I
Ooh.
had to stop
Oh, no.
mid time just to be like, this is not her. And I'm like, I'm very.
Is this who we
I'm like,
are?
this is disappointing. I was disappointed.
On this land!
I was like, this is disappointing, and I'm like, I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked, not surprised. Like, I don't know. It was just so bad. I couldn't listen to the full song. I still haven't heard the full song, like through and through.
I like it. I listen to it at the
It's
gym.
cute. Again, it's cute.
It's cute. But you know what? Agree to disagree,
Yeah, I
right?
guess
Like
so.
we all have very different opinions. What about Callie's EP Toxic Chocolate? Did you guys listen to
I did
that
not.
at all? Because I listened to some of it. I think it's cute. Like I think it's really cute. I don't know if it's any better or worse than the last project that she put out, which was what This Is Why They Mad Now.
Yeah.
But I thought it was cute. Like I really like the song with Bia, Eat It Up. And then I really like You on You featuring Young Blue, who is not a person that I like. So that's saying something.
That name pops up a lot. I need to figure out who this little boy is.
And
No, you
5 Yo
Okay.
and 5 Yo Foreign actually like.
Oh my god! Yeah, let's go
So,
there
okay,
next.
so 5 Yo Foreign
Oh,
was on here twice.
Wait,
Right?
yeah, I'm
Yes.
quite disappointed.
So
5 Foreign is on the Nicki Minaj song, which I didn't care
Nicki
for.
Minaj
I
and
like
the
that
City Girls,
song.
City Girls. And so I think this is also a larger topic that we should maybe make a main topic one day, but the resurgence of like drill music and like how
Well, it's not a resurgent.
okay, maybe
Yeah.
not a resurgent, but I feel like it's becoming more mainstream. So like you heard the City Girl song, Nicki Minaj, and then
Yeah,
Cardi B's
Top
Cardi B's
notch.
coming out with
Cardi B has one dropping out this week.
week too.
Dropping this week.
So it's
Oh my
like
gosh.
I don't know. It's gonna be. I think this might be a tone for the summer.
The summer.
I think.
I was
Could be
interested. I was
interesting.
interested too, cause like,
Could be interesting.
well, so yeah, like it's not necessarily a resurgent of like this New York drill. I think before Pop Smoke died, him and like he was like feeding off a London drill, like they were kind of all feeding off each other, and that's like something that like really popped the at least the New York style drill. As a Chicagoan, I don't care about any drill outside of Chicago drill. To let me just state that claim, be very clear. But that was kind of the start of it. But I think, I don't know, for some reason, I don't know why we are getting 3 drill songs from women, especially women who don't necessarily do drill.
Exactly.
So-
So that's what I'm saying.
I
That's why I
don't
think
know.
it's like a trend that's going, or I feel like it's going to be a real trend that's going to be happening in the next couple of
For
months.
the summer. Like, do you think that's gonna be the summer
Yeah.
sound?
Yes.
So I wonder what's
Yeah,
that.
but it's crazy to me in that now this happens because Asian Doll just dropped that song too. And then I remember Jane Doe was on Twitter like, what are y'all talking about? Because everybody was talking about like, who's the queen of drill? Who's the queen of drill? But those of us from Chicago.
Right.
This is where drill came from. And we all know it's Katie got bands. But, like, people weren't, like, people, and then I think somebody had tweeted Katie got bands. Maybe it was
Oh,
Coil
no,
or
yeah,
something.
Cardi B.
Because
Cardi
I
B.
think
it was
Asian
Cardi
Doll,
B.
Cardi
So
B,
basically
Cardi
what
B
happened
said
was,
something.
again, all these drill songs, like, were getting announced and released and stuff, and then, you know, the Barbs being the Barbs are like, oh, everyone wants to do drill now. Everyone, you know, I want to be Nicki, XYZ.
Those kids need to stay in school.
Kids need
That's
to
what
stay
they
in
should do.
Long story
school.
short,
What the
Worry
fuck?
they know how to
worry
rile up
about not
Cardi
getting
B.
dual pods.
Shut up. They know
Worry
how to
about
rile up Cardi
calculus,
B, and
okay?
then Cardi B had to be like, you know, no one is copying like Nicki, like, I was tapping into my Katie got bands back. Like, I was trying to, like, you know,
Exactly.
like, this is the first woman who I actually saw doing drill.
Exactly.
So, like,
nobody was doing it before her.
That's kind of how that conversation, like, it was a big thing on Twitter, because then, like, Asian was calling herself the queen of drill.
Girl, she just be saying any fucking thing. I cannot defend her no more.
You
I cannot
know.
defend her no more. I'm sick of talking about her because it ain't never nothing good.
It was like I'm gonna say it was a big debate, but, like, it was a big, like, again, we're getting 3 drill songs from 3 girls who aren't necessarily known for drill, so everyone is like, why is everybody doing drill? You know, like, whoever the first person is to drop it, everyone's like, well, everyone is just copying after this person. Everyone's copying after
Exactly.
this person. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Right. But the thing is like, and I think, like, you know, when we talk about Katie Gaban, she's not someone who gets a lot of respect in that respect, but I really do think she set off a major trend, like, back in like 2013, 2014, when really, like, drill was, like, taken off and Chicago was really, like, on the map for drill music, because, like, that's where the fuck it came from.
Right.
And there weren't women in that space pretty much at all, besides, like, I can think of Katie got bands, I can think of Sasha Go Hard, but besides that,
but, like, you had to be like a Chicagoan, and, like,
you had to know those people. Like, who outside of Chicago really would be able to, like, be like, no, Katie got banned, right? You know what I mean? But then think of everything that came from that, right? You know, and all the music that kind of, like, I feel like was influenced by Katie got bands is, like, drill. You know, there was just, I feel like it was just a very hard era, you know?
Yeah,
and, like,
and I don't know if you
like,
remember when Spotify used to, like, drop those, like, the Rap Caviar, they used to drop those, like, baseball trading cards or whatever. They did a Chicago drill one, like, they had one.
I don't remember this, but
it was like 2 years, maybe like a year or 2 ago. They had Chicago drill one. Of course, it was all guys, Chief Keef, and then so many Chicagoans were in the comments like, how are there no women on here? Like, women definitely were involved. Like, even if you don't do deep research into it, you
could find out.
You can see that Katie Got Bands was very much, like, there beside them. You can see that Sasha Go Hard is in those videos, like, right beside them. Like, you didn't even have to do no deep research to try and figure out who, like, what woman you could just, like, throw in it just to be like, yeah, it was some women here too. But, like, this is so funny. So I always said that, like, whenever we actually, like, did a brand launch for this, I wanted our, like, first big, I guess, like, project or whatever is to be, like, a Queen of Drill documentary, whatever. So now I feel like I really got to actually, like, put some work behind it and really
somebody, because people need to know.
Yeah, because I'm like, nobody know who the girls what the girls were doing. Like, to be honest, the first drill song I heard was actually Shady Go In. Like, it wasn't Chief Keef.
I think the first drill song I heard was I Need a Hitter.
Come on, Katie.
A dread.
So, like, Chief Keef didn't even introduce me to it.
How would you all describe drill? Because I'm trying to think of the way until, like, for those listeners who don't know what drill is, how would you describe drill?
Well, it's different than, like, New York drill, I'll tell you that. So
it's different than New York drill. A lot of people different than Toronto drill
a lot of people
or
who are
grime.
Listening, they are thinking more so like New York / London. I'm not gonna, like, cut out the fact that, like, New York and London are basically, like, playing tit for tat with each other. Like,
true, but think of where they got it from. They all
I'm
got
say,
it from
I'm just saying, like, they are, but I'm thinking,
so,
like, as an outsider, like, that's kind of like the sound that you're probably
when they're thinking of
but
drill,
like, when it comes to Chicago,
that was
very,
just,
like, a hard beat, different. Right? Like, it's like,
it's a hard beat,
like snares
with, like, a really solid snare roll in there. You know, but the rap the rapping though.
The
It's
rapping
like
It's a little bit
style.
slower.
Okay.
it's slower, but it's like very pointed, you know, and what they're talking about. And it's something you can't really dance to. You just gotta
Yeah,
I
bounce
was
you
like,
to
it's
just
it,
that
you
gotta.
bounce
know?
You
little
just really
two step
rapping.
thing, yeah.
That little bounce that you do to it.
I feel like New
And
York
I
and them,
mean,
like they're kind of dancing to
I was
there.
about to say they're doing that
sure,
like little
sure,
two
but
step, like
I
that pop
don't.
smoke
Yeah, like
type of thing.
they're dancing to
They
it.
love to do that. Yeah, that's, and I guess that's like, but it's like, I'm always like very protective when it comes to that kind of thing, because I'm like,
I am too. I feel like it's like because we grew up in it. Like
we grew up in
we grew
that
up
era,
side by side with drill, like
Right.
straight up. Like as
when it
it was coming up,
happened,
we were coming up. Like
we were coming up, and we were the first like audience that they tested it out on before it went
yeah.
mainstream.
And
You
then
know?
even if you think like outside of the music, just like the lifestyle of drill, like
Yeah.
literally you could be on Twitter at 10 a.m. in the morning, you go to school, come back 4 p.m. Like niggas was beefing at 10, got shot at
Yeah.
4. Like it
At 4 o'clock.
like it was
Jeez.
yeah.
And then
it
in the
was
studio,
crazy.
niggas in the
Yeah.
studio the next day. Niggas is in the studio the next day.
It was an
Like, people
interesting
don't
like
really understand. And it's crazy because then you'll see like these like, oh my god, I hate bringing up white people ever. But remember those
Whew.
like remember those like rapping ass old white drill rappers? Remember I sent y'all that like
Yes.
months and months ago? That's who I think about when I think about like, you're just a fraud. Like, you don't understand, like, people was really rapping about like shit they was actually out here doing.
I'm telling
Niggas is
you.
really getting killed. Niggas is really killing people. Like, what, you don't get it. It's somebody's real lifestyle, you know? And
And I
that's
think we
where
talked
it
about
came
that a little bit.
from.
Like people don't see those type of rappers as like real
No.
human. Like they don't see them as like a
Exactly.
full
And that's
human
why it's
being.
easier when they die to like
Mhm.
turn them into like, commodities and jokes and shit like that.
Mm.
But it's crazy to me because this is people's real ass
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, they're full human being outside of like the drill life. So yeah, we're gonna get
I was
started
about
on
to
that
say,
'cause I
thinking,
think yeah.
I was gonna say, well, speaking of commodities, I feel like that's a good way of segueing into our main topic.
Yeah, into our main topic. Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, well,
Go ahead.
yeah, why don't
Shermie.
you set it
Okay.
up, Shermie?
Or somebody.
I'll set it
I
up.
just said Shermie.
So basically, what today's topic? Well, the main overall question is, what would female rap look like if music wasn't a commodity? And I thought this was a good topic to discuss because, so we're basing this conversation around a video that I watched on YouTube by Fab Social. That's her channel name, but her real name is Tiana. And in her video, she was talking about her and Wine and Chill. That's that other person's channel name, but her real name is Stephanie. She's a lawyer. Basically, they were talking about like how to decommodify music, how music became a commodity, and just like different techniques of that. And when I first initially watched it, that was when a lot of albums were about to drop, and so like a lot of those albums was about to drop, Shinsea's, and like the interviews were in those interviews they were talking about how like they're making a transition, or like this is their like introduction to pop, or like I guess I don't want to say trying to be more mainstream, but like trying to be more mainstream. And so as
Yeah.
I was watching it, I was just really kind of thinking like, wow, like how would this like specific framework look if like female rappers didn't have to like go through the process of like their record label wanting to make money? Like what type of music will we get from them? What type of sounds will we hear from them? How much of this wanting to explore different sounds is like genuine because like you're like interested in it, or
Yeah.
because
Right.
your label is ready to make money and like they know that this sound is working, like we've seen it work on other people. So
Yeah.
so it was a lot. So I thought that this would be a good conversation to talk about, and
Yeah.
just think of this video in the framework more so for female rap, because that was just like music in general, her video. So
yeah, I feel like
kind
the
of
first
going
thing
over that.
I feel like the first thing that pops into my mind is like mental health. So like I think about like artists like Chica or other open artists who have like expressed like the pressures of the music industry that like weighs on their creative process, or just their almost like their ticket to providing for their community, their family, and stuff like that. So imagine
Right.
alleviating that by that not necessarily like being a huge factor, like that burden weighing on your shoulders, and all you get to do is think about the creative process and make authentic
Mm.
music about things that are going on in your life. So that's the first thing that pops into my mind is like mental health, how artists would be able to have like, I guess, feel less tortured and have less demons inside, I guess, by having that type of freedom from the industry.
I think also to that point that you bring up Chica and you talk about like the struggle, I think if it was, decommodified, then all these chart success and like how much you sell, it wouldn't be so much of a big deal. I mean, but it is an industry like anything else is an industry, and all of it is to make money. But I think about then how like the pockets of like success, or the way that success would have to be redefined based on someone's abilities, musicality, and would there be the space for a Saweetie or a Coil Ray who maybe don't rap as well and don't perform as well live and things like that, if they didn't have all this other machines behind them working, like where would there be the space for them? I mean, it's not that music hasn't always had terrible people in it. It's not that there haven't always been terrible rappers, but I wonder if there were more room, for different kinds of rap to thrive and be successful. I think if it was, if it weren't such a commodity, if everybody didn't have to be a pop star, then we would be having a different conversation about people like Chica, about people like Shinsia having to, switch over from what she's known for, and about, rappers and the way that they look. It wouldn't be as big of a conversation about female rappers and their looks, and people wouldn't be doubting, Doja Cat's rapping skills and things like that, and talking about whether or not she's a rapper, and maybe the feuds and things like that wouldn't be as big of a deal. Like, I think there's a lot that kind of is tied together about like if we didn't have basically, yeah, that's all I was saying. It's just I think we've been having a very different conversation about who's hot and who's not, if it weren't about who's hot and who's not.
Yeah, I'm gonna go off your point about when you're talking about sound, and this is something that Tiana mentioned in the video, how like we've been conditioned to think that we like a certain sound, or think
Yep.
that we like
Yeah.
um a certain sound, because like how she explained it is like they're trying to make,
Yep.
they as like the music industry and stuff are trying to make like one big unified sound so that we all like it and we all listen to it. So like how much diversity is being taken away from the music in general
Hmm.
because like this one big sound is trying to be pushed, and like how
And
much.
right now it's hip hop.
Yeah, so yeah, hip hop for now, but again it's gonna be something else later. I'm thinking like maybe like R&B or something, but yeah, just the idea of like one sound being pushed, and the fact that you want that one sound to be pushed everywhere. So it's not like, record labels only want their artists to be appealing to a certain crowd, right? Because I think there's like a lot of cop out that people are doing now, like in conversation with like Chloe Bailey music and stuff like that. Like, oh, like I'm not in her target audience and stuff like that, like yada yada yada. But like that's hella negative, because I'm sure her record label want her songs, and like other record labels with their artists, they want their songs to be everywhere.
Literally
like no matter
everywhere.
if you're a 16-year-old teen in Japan or the US, they want your 30-year-old ass to listen to that shit too and want to like
Exactly.
it and get jiggy with it and see
And
some.
I don't, but I mean, more power to her.
But it's like, I don't know, I just think the idea of like, again, one sound, and the fact that like people use a cop out of like, oh, their sound or like their music isn't for me, it's ridiculous, because I think you're undermining like the brainwashing that the not brainwashing, that might be a little extreme, but like
No, you're right.
the value of like one sound the industry is like putting behind it. Like, yeah, I just feel like we miss out
Mm.
on so much, and we're not able to like allow these artists to genuinely grow on their
Right.
Yeah.
like grow because they like these different sounds or because they want to work with a different producer or try new flows. It's like they're just playing a game of like catch up or like playing a game of
right, and it
keeping up with
doesn't
the
happen
Joneses.
until someone
Yeah.
like who is outside of the bubble of like the music industry who breaks in and creates a new sound, and they're like, oh, like
Yeah.
then everybody starts to hop on
Yeah.
that, and it's like, oh, we should be looking more in this direction, which is interesting.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What else?
Something I thought was interesting from
Mhm.
the video is when she started talking about cultural appropriation, and then she used the example of Timberland and a lot of those Aaliyah tracks being samples of Indian music, and just the idea of that. Why are we in a space where not only does like everyone have access to like this music now, but like you don't have to have the, I guess, like the cultural care behind it. So like you don't have to really care to know the history of like where that sample comes from, or like, you know, that it is a part of someone else's culture. Like people who know that, they're kind of considered like music experts and stuff like that. But why is that just not like a common not a common denominator, but like a common things amongst everyone, especially since music is a way of like sharing culture. Like I don't think we can disagree with that. Like music is a way of sharing culture, which is why once you make it a commodity, that idea of like preserving the culture is just lost, kind of
it's gone.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking of like, okay, when Lotto didn't know that the fantasy
that sounds
which
like
to me is so ridiculous, but yeah, that's so ridiculous.
I was like,
come on,
we're the same age.
We're like
2 years apart,
right? We're maybe like a couple years older than her. Come on,
okay,
now.
But her not knowing that sample, and then like Erica Banks, not really well when she got the Nelly Hot in Here.
I don't believe. I'm sorry. You're not gonna tell me.
I don't think
you're not gonna tell me you didn't know.
I don't think that she didn't know.
I don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
I don't think that like they necessarily cared. It was like, oh,
no, they didn't care. Oh,
here goes this song. Like, let's just sample it. There was no care behind it. It was just kind of like, oh, let's just sample this song. So I'm like, yeah, how much are we getting of lackluster music because people don't have care behind the samples and are just kind of like.
I mean, remember that Jessie Nielsen song, that girl from, and I think that's a really good example of it. Like, this is a white woman, and like it was just a hot ass mess. And why Nicki Minaj would agree to be on that is beyond me. But I have stopped trying to understand the decisions she's made for years. So it just made no sense. The sample made no sense, and it's like you said, like, you know, you let everybody in because music is such a huge commodity. So when you take something from a culture that might be sacred in a way that you don't quite understand, and you turned it into something else for like the masses to, you know, hear and feed on, then it kind of like weakens that, and it's like, how much of our culture would be preserved if music weren't such a commodity, if everybody didn't have to, you know, take things from this sound and that sound to be successful.
And then like, if we actively gatekept, like,
yeah, I think we need to
how
do
much more respect would women have in
not girl boss.
More gaslighting, girl bossing, and gatekeeping. Okay, gaslight, girl boss, gatekeep. Okay, that's the name of this.
I'm gonna say, is that the name of this episode?
Gaslight, girl boss, gatekeep.
That's
from now on,
handle.
Black people. Okay,
but like, how much respect would women have in rap if we like actually gatekept it and like actually gave room and space for Black women?
There would be no Tay Money, you know? And maybe we should go back and reverse some things so that there can't be. There would be no Tay Money, no Iggy Azalea if these things didn't happen. Do you guys see what I mean? You see what I'm getting at here? No bad Barbies. Get the fuck out of here.
I hear you. What else was on there? Let me see.
It was a lot of good information. She talked about touring. And
oh shit, yeah.
That touring one was big.
Oh yeah.
So basically, I guess to give like a background, So we'll link the video for you all to watch it. She was talking about how people will say, oh, well, like, everyone knows that, like, no one makes money off of streaming, and people make their money off of...
No one assumed that.
People make their money off of touring, so when artists are talking about how they don't make money and stuff like that, people are like, oh, just go on tour, like, because that's how you can.
No,
niggas be on tour for half the year, though.
Right.
It's been 6 months on the road. What kind of life is that?
Right. So then a lot of it was talking about how people, well, how artists would be like touring, like, you know, weighs on their mental health. Like, it's a lot, like, you have to keep up with, and then, like, you have to assume that, like, the seats are gonna sell out and all this stuff, and it just, like, weighs a big toll on you as, like, a human being. And I think what this generation is gonna do, actually, let me take that back, because I think stans fuck it up. But I do think, to some extent, the idea of a pop star and a mega star, some people do care more about the mental health of, like, these artists. But I also think, like, stans kind of fuck that up.
Well, what do you mean, and what
when I say some people, I think in the regard of, like, so when people talk about, like, who's a megastar now, like, oh, or, like, we don't have megastars or, like, pop stars how we used to, Some people will come to the defense of, like, we literally watched a Janet Jackson documentary and saw, like, how miserable it was. We literally have heard Michael Jackson talk about billions of times about how he doesn't like touring, or he hates touring and stuff like that. Like, it weighs very heavy.
Wouldn't you?
It weighs very heavy on them. So I think, to some extent, some people have grace for artists and, like, the idea of being a megastar and, like, or a pop star, and, like, trying to redefine it for now, and, like, somewhat care about mental health. But I also think, like, stans fuck it up. Like, they don't give a fuck. They be harassing the fuck out of
and
everybody.
they don't even have to be your stans. They can be somebody else's stans, and they still fuck it up for you.
So I'm like, I do think some people, like, who actually, again, care about music, who care about keeping genres sacred and stuff.
I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
but
but
when you talk about megastars, and you talk about how, like, the music industry wants to push this one homogenized sound, it reminds me of that one Beyonce concert where she was talking about B-Day. She was talking about her debut album, and she was like, you know, she went to Columbia, she turned it in, and they told her she didn't have one hit on that album. Now, those of us in the know know that motherfucker is front to back hits.
Beautiful.
But they told her she didn't have one hit on that album, and think of the time that it was in music.
I think a lot of that gets lost. Like, you have to re-put people in those situations, or, like, put them back in that time frame to have these conversations, because they're gonna think of it like now, like, knowing that it's already a success.
Yes. But think of where it was at the time when it was like, oh, Beyonce was this new artist, and she was from this really successful girl group, and, like, now she's breaking out on her own, and everybody's like, I don't know, she got it. You know what I mean? And so, and they're like, she's not trying to make this kind of synth pop music that everybody wants to hear from her. And even when you think about a little bit later, when she released 4, during this time when it was like this big EDM wave, and everybody's doing this pop punk thing, and here comes Beyonce with this soul funk, like, type of, like, R&B album, and I'm sure, and that was and I just think of her in terms of always being the person who, like, not only, like, defies what the curve is, but, you know, also, like, sets the standard for being like, hey,
but that would,
if you make it, they will come.
I think that's
if you make it, they will come,
because it's like, I was reading something about, you know, finding, like, happiness in your work. There's a level of mastery, and then there's a certain level of, like, money you make. Okay, once you're able to, like, reach all the success, all the money that you have, what is it that keeps you going? And it's like being able to, like, still have that kind of edge, and you're doing it for the passion and the love of actually creating music. So it's like, I think, I guess from mega stars like Beyonce, or, like, I would even say, like, what's his name? Like, Kendrick Lamar and stuff like that. They care about the artistry more than they care about what is to come from it.
Yeah.
And you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
You can truly
tell. And it's not that they don't
However,
care about
but it's
money.
like, you know, it's like they've made a significant
do.
amount of money that it's like, I'm at the point where it's like, I'm doing this for I don't have to do anything else. I'm doing this for the love of creating and producing an album of my labor, you know?
Timelessness.
But I would also say, because I would throw in that category Rihanna as well.
Yeah.
I also think it's
in
like
what way?
In a way of like setting the tone. Like Rihanna set the tone for pop when like
yeah, absolutely.
And, that's something like in terms of setting the tone. That's what I'm.
I just don't know if she has any timeless albums.
Oh, I wasn't gonna go there. I was thinking it more so. I was thinking it in terms of like setting a tone or like
absolutely
putting something against the grain that like actually stuck.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think that's like
I remember when the S&M video dropped.
Oh man,
they wanted to ban it in every country.
Me on my Dell
I was like,
desktop.
I don't even know what the fuck this is. Right, trying to figure out. I was at school googling. What is S&M?
Are you 18 and above? Yes.
I was trying to figure out what that means too.
Yes. Oh Jesus Christ!
But what I was gonna say is that I don't think a lot of artists again like attached to these labels, which like the video talked a lot about like artists going to these labels to like front them to do stuff. And actually Money Long was talking about it in her interview with Terrell, how you get signed
that is not how I thought that was pronounced. I was really shocked to find out that that's how her name was pronounced, because that was quite
Priscilla
literally the last thing on my mind.
But she was talking about
Jesus
how
Christ.
you get signed, you think you're gonna do a certain thing, or you think you're gonna have like that creative control, creative freedom and stuff like that, and the record label is like, no, we need you to do this. Like, this is what you're gonna make. Like, this is what's gonna happen because we need that money back. So we need to guarantee that something is gonna stick. So I don't think specifically in rap, a lot of people do want to get signed because it does get their music out there, yada yada yada. It does to some extent put them in the face of everyone. But like, I would question one: why do you want to be in front of everyone's face? Why do you want everyone to like your music? Like, if everyone's likes it and like we can't all agree on basic things, that's something a little weird, a little tricky, but whatever. But then also like, why don't you want to at least be in a position where you can like take your time and like really truly like do your homework, do your research and stuff like that? Because everybody else in a regular job, they got to do their work. Like, you just don't come in and be like, you don't have no knowledge on nothing, and like now you have this job. Like, you got to have some background work. Like, you have to have taken a class. You have to.
And the thing is, in a regular job, you would have to. In music, you don't.
Yeah.
In music, you don't.
You could just pop up and be like, I want to rap.
Oh, I've never heard Hot in Here. What? I know it came out the year you were born, but what? Come on. You've never heard Fantasy? Come on.
Stop the cat.
Like, I can't. Immediately, please.
But then I also just question like how many people would make music, especially like hip hop or rap, if hip hop or rap wasn't a genre of flexing, or like you can make yourself seem to have more than what you have. Because we know all these people are broke.
Yeah.
No.
Because like, how much of like wanting to be a rapper, at least in the now, is based on the fact that I want to be rich. And
I was gonna say in the now, yes, for sure. It's about like what you have and like the status that you have. But I was gonna say, like, if we're thinking about like, I don't know, like 90s, like 80s, it was about telling a story, right? It was about like rapping about your situation, things that you were going through. And I feel like we kind of get that from artists again who are on the come up, who don't have all the resources or like all the money yet, and they're talking about real things that are happening in their communities to them, how they process certain information. So I don't think it's necessarily lost. I think it's probably um, it has more of a voice once people grow more popular, and they start to
You gotta do
and
more
they actually
research on
start
it.
to like get some of the taste of the money and like what success looks like in that space. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've always said that, like, once something becomes a thing that you have to do to quote unquote survive, I think you automatically lose a piece of the passion and like the drive
Yeah, of course.
behind it, because now, like, what was once like a fun thing, like, it didn't matter what this sound like, it didn't matter if it was good, it didn't matter if it was like 2 minutes long compared to a 5-minute song. Like, now, since you have to look at it as a livelihood, or like a front to keep up the livelihood that you have told us, yeah, you just kind of lose the drive, or like even the hunger to even like want to grow as a musician and stuff like that, because you got to do it to survive. Like, they live in paycheck to paycheck too. I mean, the paycheck is a little bit bigger, but it's still paycheck to paycheck.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything else that you all think about this?
I don't know. I feel like y'all really said it, you know? I think like it would just, music would be very different if it weren't such a commodity.
Yeah, we'd be in a different space. Very different. I think it'd be a lot of different people.
Even our opinions would be different.
Honestly, true. I think like a lot of sounds that we probably didn't like, we would probably like have had some interest in, or probably not been like, ew.
I also think something I think about also is probably the accessibility you would probably have to artists if it wasn't a commodity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a big one.
I think about what's his name? Dave Chappelle, and how he goes to like comedy clubs, like hole in the wall comedy clubs, to still like test out his comedy to see if it like really sticks before he does like stadium type of stuff, right? So it's like, imagine having access to your favorite artist still, like, Megan Thee Stallion's in Houston, like performing at like House of Blues or something like that. You know what I mean? Like in intimate settings.
Right.
I mean, even just like, not even like a small stage necessarily wise, but just even if you just like walk down the street and just like, I guess like someone be in community with them, like how much.
I think it would be different because
the idea of a celebrity like,
wouldn't
dissipates.
Be so like, wouldn't be so, you wouldn't be able to monetize it in the same way.
But just think like how much that's music a part of it get too, like,
and that's a part of it, Yeah.
If I could just like walk up and be like,
"Hey Beyonce,
oh, hey, girl, yeah, that was a really good song." Bye,
girl. Please, girl, please, girl, please. Never will that happen. Never will that happen.
Well, a lot of people think they got access to these people though.
Yeah,
because of Twitter and
girl,
stuff.
Yeah, we know.
That's why they be harassing them.
That's the difference. But that's the difference. Some people have sense. Most people on the internet do not. Ain't got no sense. That being said, Beyonce is excluded. That's my homegirl. Like, I just really, I don't know her, but
that's me with Megan Thee Stallion. Okay. That's me and Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah,
It's different. Okay, you wasn't in the trenches. Okay, with us. We remember.
All right.
You remember what she's doing with us.
Okay, but you had to be there. Okay, you had to be there, and most of y'all wasn't. But anyway, is it music right time?
Video. Give us your thoughts
and opinions.
Grammy Award winning Doja Cat and SZA.
Grammy Award winners, bitch.
Yo, Grammy in the bathroom Award. When they announced her.
That's just so Doja.
Oh, that's so her. But like, it's so
that's just
her.
So her. That's just so her. I love her.
I love the speech that she had, and especially when like she really did like have a serious moment.
Yeah.
And, like, I know a lot of times like, we be goofing off and stuff like that, but this really means something big, and like I really felt it. Same. Because at least for me, like, once we get like 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, we can say, oh my God, like Doja Cat did so much, like Doja Cat was that girl, like we can say it, but like as much as like I don't want to give the Grammys their credit, whatever and stuff like that, no one really believes it unless you have the awards to back it up, to like be like, oh yeah, you were that girl, or like you was really moving and shaking during that time. So I'm really happy that she got it, and like of course she deserved it like a long time, I mean last year, but whatever, we'll let it be for now. But I'm really happy that she was able to go home with something. And of course, y'all know I'm very happy that Jasmine Sullivan.
Oh yes, I think everybody was very happy that Jasmine. I definitely felt like we all won.
Also a tie.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I didn't listen.
The tie, that's some bullshit. But
I didn't listen to that album. Like, I don't.
Hotels?
No, I didn't listen to Silk Sonic's album.
Silk Sonic's.
I didn't listen to that.
Girl,
neither,
it's okay.
Either.
I don't know.
You could listen to Victoria Monet and get the same feel.
I don't really care that much about what they're doing, but so I didn't listen to the album, but I just thought that, you know, Jasmine Sullivan rightfully finally was honored after so many years.
They should have had her in Album of the Year, but
that's okay. That's okay. But thank you guys for listening. If you made it all the way to the end of this episode, follow us on Instagram and on Twitter and all that fun stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next.
And give us your
opinions. We want to know.
Chat with us.
Tweet at us. DM us on Instagram. Let us know.
Omegle.
Oh God. I hope not. I hope not. All right. Well, bye everybody.
See y'all next time.
Bye y'all.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Where My Girl's At, brought to you by Textured Air, a brand dedicated to celebrating Black girl culture, past, present, and future. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. It really helps. You can find us on Twitter at WhereMyGirlsAt2 and Instagram, WhereMyGirlsAt_TH. Make sure you check out our other podcasts, Does It Hold Up?, The Blacklist, and all the other content we offer on our website, texturedair.com. Until next time.